Yo, Chads, what's good? Hey, I'm gonna give you guys a tier list real quick. Been playing a ton of the beta, had a ton of testing. Before you guys just skip to the end, I want to give you a heads up that we are going to be talking about some of the changes and maybe possible comps that could be swapped in. So recommend you watch the whole thing. If you don't, if you just were looking for what best class to play, go ahead and skip to the end. Don't need to waste your time, I guess, if you're just going to be the meta slave. But if you are looking for maybe all the comps and reasons why I'm going to place these here, it might behoove you to hang tight. So we'll just start off with tanks real quick. I'm going to say this straight up after all the changes coming this past week. Every tank is A tier and above. So if you have a tank you want to play, right? If you have a tank you want to play, just play it, man. It's good enough, trust me. All right, Blood DK, I'm just going to start this. I still think they're on the lower end of the tier. Looking great though, so solid A tier. If we go into the Vengeance DH, I think they're a similar situation. They also do bring the magic buff, so a lot of caster comps are pretty strong. Vengeance DH can be slotted in if you're not bringing another DH for the magic buff. Super solid. Guardian Druid got huge damage buffs. I'm gonna have to put them in S tier, man, and they're unkillable. They're just great changes on the Guardian Druid. I like it when tanks are strong. Makes people want to play tanks. Keep it that way. Brewmaster S tier. I don't know what they did to these guys. I think they just cranked their damage and then messed with the stagger mechanic or something like that. But anyways, I see nothing but Brewmaster monks now, and they're pumping. So pretty solid. Absolute first Giga Chad, no question in my mind. If this does not get changed, Prop Pally is just nasty, man. Their damage is through the roof right now. Great util, and I mean maybe. I have heard that they feel a little squishy, so I'm not sure if they need to maybe remove some damage, give them more defensive CDs, something like that. But their damage right now is crazy for high keys. That's super important. So if you guys are looking to push high mythic plus, not a bad option, man. All right, let's see. Prot Warrior also super solid. They, I think, don't bring the same kind of damage. I mean, God, they're pretty good, man. I'm gonna throw them low S tier. I'm gonna throw them low S tier. I think they're just a little bit better than Vengeance CH and Blood DK. So honestly, I think there's not much more to say about that. Let's see. Let's go with melees next. Let's go with melees. Fury were absolutely being a Chad right now, but I think they're at least within range of being balanced. So let's go ahead and call them S tier. Arms were underperforming quite a bit. I think not terrible, but definitely not anywhere near where the top DPS are. Enhancement Shaman. I want to kind of put them in A tier. Let's put them in A tier for now. This is potential to change here as we kind of walk through it. Assassination Rogue looking terrible, man. Just please help at this point. At this point, I think Assassin Rogue just doesn't have anything you're looking for. It's not a contender on AoE damage, not a contender on single target damage. It doesn't bring great util. Yeah, that class needs help. While we're down here, let's go ahead and just throw Boomkin down here. Please help with the Boomkin. And they got some buffs. We'll put them in C tier. We'll put them in C tier. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Anything C tier and below, dude, just it's so much worse than the other ones that it's pretty much not playable. If you're in the please help category, this is like, man. If you're in this please help category, it's like we need a class rework or a new ability, or like Fire Mage I think could benefit from like Living Bomb, right? Like they feel like they don't have anything outside of combustion. So Fire Mage not feeling great. Also, yeah, dude, honestly the damage just not looking great. I do like the 1 minute combustion idea. You know, it's just it ain't there yet. Elisham looking insane, dude. I'm tempted to put Elisham and Giga Chad. They did get a little bit of a nerf, like a little bit of a check on them, but still their potential is just so massive. Bringing the mastery buff, bringing the lust. I mean, they bring a lot of util, man. And just crazy damage. Elisham looking super insane going into midnight. Let's see. We're going to do some more melee. Let's do some more melee. Ret Pally, I think, is maybe a little bit above Arms Warrior. I think Ret Pally is actually kind of in a decent spot. I don't know if we can call Ret and Enhance an A tier contender, though. Good util, decent util, brings the mastery buff. I guess I think we're going to move these down, man. I think we're going to have to move these down. I think I think Ret and Enhance, we're going to go B tier. And I think B is kind of like balanced slash borderline weak. Like you want to be A tier and above, but if you're in B tier, like you're close, right? Windwalker Monk, not feeling this class, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. I think it's down here with Boomkin. I think Boomkin's super underperforming. I think Windwalker Monk's super underperforming. I think Rogue and Fire Mage, I think Assassin, Rogue, and Fire Mage are like those are the two that I would just be like, hey man, these are out. That's just, we're not playing that unless something big happens. Everybody knows this already, but Demo Lock is a straight Giga Chad. It's actually okay. I kind of gotta. I mean, they are a super Giga Chad, but I think they're S tier. I think they're S tier for the simple fact that the ones that we're gonna have up in Giga Chad are just absolutely out of control right now. I can't really say Demo Lock's on the same tier as those, so we're gonna leave Demo Lock in the S tier. Super good spot. I'm happy with that. Lock main, Lock Mage main. We're super happy with the Demo Lock being up there. I'll take it, man. This Devourer. Yo, this new Devourer spec is actually kind of crazy, man. The Demon Hunter Devourer spec is definitely S tier. I've seen some people figure out some crazy builds. People are starting to figure out the rotations and everything. This is borderline Giga Chad. This has to, I think, go up here at this point. I've seen some crazy numbers put out on this Devourer DH, so it's definitely S tier. Also brings the magic buff, so that might move like the Vengeance DH down. That's kind of what bumped Vengeance DH out of the S tier tank roll. And we'll kind of talk about some combos maybe in a sec. All right, our first real super Giga Chad that is a problem and they keep getting buffed. I have no idea what's going on with this. They must see something that we don't, or something's going on behind the lines here. But Unholy DK is out of control. Like absolutely I would say the best DPS right now, followed by Arcane Mage. Okay, so I think Unholy DK is absolutely out of control. Arcane Mage is absolutely out of control as well. There's an Infinity Orb build with Arcane Mage that can absolutely just blast through everything. So if you guys are just really digging that, like you press Arcane Surge and you basically just start blasting orbs with your every time you press Barrage, it starts these Splinter Storms, right? And it gives you your orbs back. And then every clear casting proc is going to cast like 5 Arcane Orbs, man. So it's super insane, great cleave. It also gives you your barrages back super fast. There's a way to play around Arcane Splinters. If you guys are interested in that, come check out the stream. I've been playing a lot of the Arcane Mage, testing that out, Demo Lock, Shadow Priest, Boomkin, all those. The Unholy DK, the reason it's strong is this is basically a ranged melee now. So they have to hit their target initially, but then afterwards they can do their entire rotation from range, and it basically turns them into a caster. On top of that, uncapped AoE, just absolutely massive, and their single target is great. Plus bringing good util doesn't necessarily bring like a great like a buff, right? But it brings AMZ, grip, you got all kinds of good stuff like that. Good interrupts. Yeah, just Unholy DK looking super solid. Frosty K also really great. I'm going to throw them in A tier. I don't think they're on the level of Demo Lock. I'm kind of using Demo Lock as my baseline here. I think Frost DK is maybe just a little bit below that. We're going to say A tier. Great damage, huge single target. I mean, Frosty K looks great. I would put it low S tier, but we have too many in S tier already. Feral Druid with some huge buffs, man. This is A tier for sure on AoE. I would say S tier on AoE, but maybe their single target is like A tier. We'll leave them in A tier for now, but I think Feral Druid is getting slept on a little bit. This class is got some huge buffs. So keep an eye out for that. Also could be an option if Resto Druid gets nerfed out a little bit. Little spoiler alert there, Resto Druid's S tier. If it gets buffed out a little bit, Resto Druid gets nerfed out a little bit, now you can slot the Feral Druid in, the Guardian Druid in, right? Since the Boomkin's really not in the mix right now. Survival Hunter, absolute Chad, dude. This class just keeps getting buffed. I don't know what's up. They got a slight nerf. Oh, are they on the same page as Arcane and Unholy? I mean, they kind of are in AoE. I don't think their single target is, right? Let's move them down here with Demo Lock. Yeah, they're like Demo Lock and Survival Hunter are neck and neck here. A good Survival Hunter versus a good Demo Lock pull very similar numbers, and both bring, pretty decent util, good survivability on both of them, which is a huge thing in the Mythic Pluses, by the way. So like if you're running an Arcane Mage rather than, a Frost Mage, you only got one ice block or one, icy feet or whatever it is. So, you know, it's something to think about here. These healers are really going to struggle in this upcoming season. The dungeons are pretty hard, man. They get ramping pretty hard. Frost Mage, we're going to have to put in the top of A tier. It got some pretty hefty nerfs here when it was in, I would say, like upper to mid S tier. Got some hefty nerfs and everything else really didn't. So Frost Mage dropping down a little bit, has great cleave, really good 2-target, 3-target with kind of the changes to Frostbolt becoming Glacial Spike kind of automatically. So you don't necessarily got to worry about weaving that into your rotation at the right time. Rogues are in a weird spot, man. Outlaw was like borderline S tier and got nerfed a little bit. And I have no idea why you would just have basically an F tier rogue class and then one strong rogue class, and your sub was probably like C tier, honestly, and sub got huge buffs. So I think like it's between outlaw and sub right now. I'll have to see them kind of ran again. But what I've been seeing is a little bit of sub. Some people have tried assassination, still terrible. And then outlaw is, I think the nerfs might have turned people off of it. I think it was enough to turn people off of it. So I don't think maybe it's S tier. Maybe it was broken. I'm not sure. But people basically started swapping over to sub. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. Maybe they're just trying it out, but I'll have to see some more numbers on that one. Devour or Devastation Evoker, super solid. Easy A tier pick right there. I think the Marksman Hunter still lacks a little bit, but it's like the top of B tier. Kind of similar with Destrolock. I think Destrolock is like the top of B tier. It's pulling kind of similar numbers to Frost Mage now, actually, after the nerfs. If we had to move like a rogue spec down, I don't know. I think we'll be okay with this, honestly. It's really close between this A and B tier category. So these are kind of, they're all very close right in here between the bottom of A tier and the top of B tier. Kind of the S tier really breaks away. Like Fury Warrior is not necessarily even close to like the rest of these, right? And that's kind of the bottom of our S tier right now. So I would say S tier has a clear gap, and then A and B tier are pretty close. Beastmaster Hunter looking really good. Definitely A tier, borderline S tier. I think probably more similar to a Frost Mage level of power. So let's put it on A tier for now. I think that's a little bit more reasonable. And then the Affliction Log got some pretty hefty nerfs. Not super pleased with this. It feels similar to Destrolock now in damage, and also it's Affliction brings a lot of util. I mean, so Warlocks now have this thing called Blight of Tongues, right? So you can basically curse the entire pack, plus all your curses AoE, right? So if you throw like one Curse of Tongues on the Prio pack like we used to, right? Now it's gonna go on every mob in that area. So it's actually super strong, man. Plus Blight of Tongues is kind of insane. You just basically cast your 2-minute CD at the pack and it doubles their cast time. So really helps out with those big MDI pulls or any big caster pack, dangerous caster packs. Warlocks bring some good util, plus Soulstone, Hellstone, Gate, Skips, things like that. So if you're a good Warlock, the season's looking pretty good for us. I think I'm going to have to put Affliction in B tier. I had Affliction and Shadow Priest pretty much neck and neck here. I think Shadow Priest brings slightly more damage now. But unfortunately, with a long kick cooldown, no life swap, 2-minute mass dispel, you really don't have much to dispel inside of the dungeons, so your purges aren't that useful. You really only bring PI as a Shadow Priest, right? You're pretty much only going to have PI. So I would say that the damage is definitely A tier on Shadow Priest. I think the utility is like, honestly, please help, C tier, somewhere like that. We can leave it in A tier for now, just based on damage. But I mean, honestly, when you're building like big Mythic Plus keys, there's no situation you're going to bring a Shadow Priest over a Warlock right now. I think for that reason, honestly, I'm going to drop him to B tier. I think their damage looks good. Their damage profile looks good. I like that they put more into the shadowy apparitions and everything. But yeah, man, just having no util when you're coming into a high key pushing group. Yeah, it's a bad look. That's all, man. It's just a bad look. So again, no mobility, no utility. You bring a 5% stand buff, and you got PI. So that's about it. Augievoker super solid. I would say S tier honestly, but there's so many good classes in S tier that I'm not sure we would even bring that. Unless I guess like the Arcane Mage, you could bring the Augievoker, like keep the Arcane Mage alive, honestly, because Arcane Mage is super squishy. And then last but pretty much least, Havoc DH, not looking super hot. They need some buffs. Everything kind of B tier and below. B tier is like you could use one or two changes. C tier and please help, like we need big changes, right? And then we'll wrap up with the healers. Giga Chad healer right now, definitely Resto Druid Arsham. No question even about it. S tier Holy Pally Disc Priest looking absolutely insane. Huge buffs on the Mistweaver. Honestly, I would be tempted to put this somewhere like up here now. It's definitely A tier, maybe even higher. Mistweaver looking really good. It's got a really good caster build. It's got a really good fist weaving build. I'm gonna throw it in S tier. We'll put it in the back of S tier, but those changes were huge. Holy Priest A tier, and I think Prez Evoker still underperforming. I think just the mechanics of Prez Evoker in general are just rough. Having a short cast range when you got to move around the dungeon, track 4 other guys, it's rough to play that class right now. So there it is, boys. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know. Specifically, if it's your main, I would love to hear from you guys, and we'll keep the tier list updated. So come check out the stream. Mage, Warlock, Shadow Priest, Boomkin, a lot of that type of gameplay over there. A little bit of Resto, Druid, Disc Priest. If you guys want to come kick it, come say what up and follow the stream and let me know if this was helpful. All right, let me know you down in the comments below if you agree. Deuces.